Sometimes you may not know how to break up with someone. That may seem crazy to some people, but obviously not you, because for some reason you clicked on this video to learn how not to break up with someone. Specifically a loved one, a partner of yours. Maybe you're feeling unsure on why you want to maybe leave your relationship, and I'm here to help you with 7 reasons why you can leave someone. The first one I want to start off with is something I was never taught and I wish I was. Just because somebody is a good person doesn't always mean they are good for you. So you can simply leave because you don't like them.
Why are you so mad?
You're not gonna like everybody, and that's okay. You don't have to try to figure it out or think something's wrong with you. Y'all not it, and that is okay. You can leave just because you want to leave. So I hope that brings you peace. And if this is all you needed to hear, stay for fun, okay? Number 2, because I want to catch people who have short attention spans. You can leave a relationship because you simply, seriously, just still want to be single. If you act single in your relationship, that's probably a sign that you still want to be single. So spare your partner, who you probably do really care about, and be honest about the fact that you still want to do you fully. So do you fully and let them go. Maybe they'll be around and still want you whenever you are ready, but it's okay if they don't. But you have to let people go if you aren't serious about the relationship. If you still want to be single, leave. Free them and free yourself. Go ahead and free yourself. Because you're not going to be acting right and you're going to hurt a perfectly sane, good person because you still want to be out here. That is okay. So just tell them. Okay. 3rd reason is you should leave somebody if there is a lack of boundaries and respect. If you do not respect your partner and your partner doesn't respect you and there's a lot of distrust, you don't feel safe with them, and you constantly are getting your boundaries violated. Like, hey, for example, because sometimes people don't even know how to have boundaries or communicate their boundaries. So if you say, you know, hey babe, like I really don't like it when you are on your phone all the time and I'm trying to talk to you. And they're like, whatever. And they just keep doing whatever you said, whatever you're like. Well, it's like, okay, when I'm talking to you, can I just get your attention? And then you can go back on your phone. Everything's fine. And they try to make you feel crazy and needy for asking for something you literally need to feel okay in the relationship.
Finish him.
Leave them. Like, you don't have to do it immediately. You can give them a chance to like show, but don't keep giving them a bunch of chances. Like, this is now leading into point number 4. When your mental health is starting to be affected, leave. If they are making you feel crazy because you're asking them to stop doing something or start doing something because it'll make you feel safe and seen and needed and all the normal things that people get into relationships for, leave them. They are emotionally unavailable and they do not need to be dating right now. So free yourself and free them. Because when you start to have anxiety like crazy, you start to feel depressed and you start to feel lonely within your relationship, let them go. Your mental health is the most important thing when you are in a relationship, and once it starts to decline, leave. The 5th point kind of ties in with mental health. It's your physical safety. When you start to notice subtle signs of abusive behavior, such as maybe they didn't throw something at you, but they just threw something in a moment of anger and they were mad because you did something, or they felt triggered by something you did and they threw something. It may not have hit you, but that's kind of a sign like, when my partner gets mad, they like to throw things. Maybe one day that thing might be at me or me. So you might want to reconsider, like, can I be with somebody who likes to throw stuff or punch walls? Because maybe one day the wall will be you. So if you can catch it before they physically hit you, maybe step back. But I've never been in a physically abusive relationship before, So I can't really confidently give advice on leaving, but I do just know you should leave if someone is physically abusive, even in the slightest way. Even if you notice that they hit you on accident, because listen, like if people are just being whatever and an accident happened, you should say, hey, you just hit me, being dramatic, or whatever you were doing, you just hit me. See how they respond. Because if they turn you around fast and they hit you and you're like, whoa, you hit me, pay attention to how they respond. If they are like, whatever, they're comfortable and they don't see a problem with the fact that you even got hit accidentally. Just a little tip. I've never been in an abusive relationship. Obviously, if you have to leave somebody who's abusive, you need to make a plan that is going to be safe for you to exit. But if you've never been hit yet by your partner, pay attention to stuff like that. The sixth point I would like to make is something that I've never been taught, and it is neglect is a form of abuse. So sometimes we date people who we're like, oh, he's just shy, or he's just quiet, or she's just shy, she's just quiet. She really likes being alone, and I like to give them their space. But if your partner makes you feel lonely often, or they never want to join in on activities, or their boundaries are really, really rigid, and it's like, man, it's either your way, no way, or we never do anything. Your needs aren't being met at all emotionally. It's like pulling teeth to even get them to do anything with you. Somebody who's in a healthy relationship, they may be like, what? Like, who would even be with somebody like that? Sometimes people have been through so much trauma that having somebody who kind of is just like a body next to them, they don't realize they deserve more. Maybe they've been through so much that they're just too tired to even realize that that's abuse. But somebody who literally gives you nothing, and you tell them like, hey, I really would like it if you just complimented me sometimes, or hey, I'd really like it if you at least once a week or once a month you planned a date night and showed me you cared about me. The fact that you even have to ask that your partner compliments you and does something for you once a month is the thing you have to do. You might need to reconsider and have a conversation with your partner on like, where are we standing? What are we doing? Do you still want this? Because I feel like you are not here. Neglect is a form of abuse because think of it this way, and this is when I learned that it is considered abuse. If you were your partner's child and they just came home and left you to your own, CPS would eventually take your kid. Because I like to think of your needs as food. You're starving in your relationship. That's abuse. If you were a child and you were getting emotionally neglected or not being fed food, somebody's going to take you away. So this can happen in adult relationships too. It's not okay to just accept little crumbs from people. You deserve better than that, and neglect is a form of abuse. And if no one's ever taught you that before, you know that now. And the last point is an umbrella, the overall umbrella of emotional neglect. But leave somebody if they are emotionally abusing you. And there are so many forms of emotional abuse, such as emotional neglect, like I just explained. But gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse. It's when your reality is being controlled by them and they make you feel crazy. Manipulation is a form of abuse. Sometimes manipulation is covered by jokes, but if the jokes that they always do are hurting your feelings constantly and you don't think they're funny, that's not okay. That's a form of emotional abuse. They could just apologize, or they can just acknowledge whatever you shared, or you can say, hey, that hurt my feelings, the little joke you just had. And if they do it again and they constantly do it, you might have to say, I'm going to shift this relationship, and the shift is you're not with me anymore. There's just so many things that people can do to you emotionally, that a big form of emotional abuse is when, like, you know that internally you're not okay, and the outside world sees you guys and they think everything's perfect because you guys both look aesthetically pleasing, you guys do fun activities, but if they are not meeting your emotional needs and you don't feel loved and you don't feel cared for and you don't feel validated and you don't feel seen and you don't feel heard by your partner, these are signs that you guys don't even really have anything you're holding on to. Maybe you guys are literally only having sex, going on trips, and taking pictures for Instagram. That is not enough, and that is not going to sustain your relationship. And if you or your partner are not willing to get emotionally deep with one another, you're abusing each other and you're neglecting each other, and you both deserve better. So if you're not in a space where you can be emotionally available, be single for a minute. So these are there's so many reasons to break up with someone, but it sometimes can be because of a big thing, but sometimes it can be you just know you don't want the relationship anymore, and that's okay. So I hope these 7 things helped you if you were wondering if you should leave somebody. Yeah. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video to be helpful.